On today's show,
The Bulls fire Fred Hoiberg, Rudy Gobert calls out the officials, and Beverly gets tossed for throwing a ball at a fan.
the Pistons have won 5 straight. OKC only a half game at a top spot in the West. 3D previews the matchup before players only.
And we've got a new batch of NBA weekend bloopers.
It's Monday, December 3rd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters. I'm J.E. Skeets, that's Tass Mellis, that's the Aussie Lee Ellis, and over yonder, that is the bearded one, well, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-yo! TK, what's up tonight?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, the Bulls fired Fred Hoiberg this morning. We'll get to that in a bit. But the big story on the internet today was Jim Boylen, who's taken over for the Bulls. That's Boylen, B-O-Y-L-E-N, not to be confused with Jim Boylan, B-O-Y-L-A-N, who also took over coaching for the Bulls back in 07-08. It's an easy mistake to make because what are the odds that two Jim Boylens would end up NBA assistant coaches who end up coaching for the Bulls? It's crazy. But it brings us to today's question. Which NBA people do you mix up? That's a lot of options. Like back in the day, there was a John Hot Rod Williams and a John Hot Plate Williams. Also in the 2000s, there were 2 Jason Williams, plus another one that had a Y. And honestly, at this point, I can't keep straight who is real Hedo Turkoglu and who is dancing Hedo Turkoglu.
Throwback.
The two of them have melded in my mind. And honestly, they might be the same guy. We haven't seen the real Hedo. We haven't seen dancing Hedo. Maybe they're in the same place. But we need to hear from you. So let us know on Twitter, which NBA people do you always mix up? Send us your best tweets to hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get those tweets in. Can we also admire what Trey Kirby is wearing tonight? Look at this look. You've got a bandana on here.
That's right, buddy. We had some water problems here in Atlanta today. I didn't have the water pressure to get my flow going. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
If I can break in a bandana on the show, I'm going to take that chance.
All right, great stuff.
Any excuse for the bandana.
Exactly.
That's right. Also,
Exactly.
dead tickets were on sale. Hope you guys got yours. See you in the crowd, buddy!
All right, well,
Whoa!
We're going to have a fun show tonight. We're going to talk to 3D live from the Detroit Pistons Arena. I was going to call it the Pizza Box, Little Caesars Arena. We got weekend whoopsies. We got very solid play. But let's start with a little true or false here tonight on a Monday night. TK, you got the cues. We got the answers. Let's go.
That's right. After a 5-19 start and just 115 wins in 3+ seasons, the Bulls impeached the mayor, firing head coach Fred Hoiberg today with a year and change remaining on his contract. Jim Boylen with an E has taken over. The front office remains intact. And something tells me the Bulls won't be making a playoff push after this. So true or false, the Bulls firing Hoiberg was pointless.
I think the only point is for the front office to look good because they're going to turn this thing around. They're 5-19, and their best player played his first game on Saturday, so it can't get much worse. They'll look better. That's not fair to Fred Hoiberg. He gets his best player back for 1 game. His point guard has played 1 game this season.
Chris Dunn, yep.
That being said, his whole tenure hasn't been very fair to him whatsoever. They signed him in 2015. Hey, we're going to have this spread out team, shoot some threes. He coaches that Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah team their last year. He coaches them to 42-40. Next year, they go get Rondo and Wade. Again, not a three-point shooting team.
No.
The next year, they lose on purpose, which is his 3rd year. And then that leads into this year. Again, a bad team. He really hasn't had a fair shot in this situation. Can he coach a good team? We don't really know. He made the playoffs once with that 41 and 41 team. And it hasn't been fair whatsoever. And this is where we got to. I don't understand why you wouldn't give him the rest of the year. Why not?
Well, to be fair, though, he probably didn't take control as much as he should have in that time. Because we heard Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade, particularly in that locker room, and Rondo to a different extent, kind of didn't respect him and kind of did what they want. And at some point, the coach has to basically stand up and say, I'm the coach, I'm in charge here now, I'm calling the shots. Because if you don't, then the players won't respect you. And if the senior players don't respect you, certainly the younger players are not going to. So
I mean, they got to the first round that year. They were up 2-0, and they lost in the first
if
round.
Rondo doesn't
Yeah.
get injured, they probably beat the Celtics as well. But
Okay. So we hear some news reports that he's not taking control of the locker room. But why doesn't he get this season? It doesn't really make sense to me.
That doesn't make sense. But also, if you're the Bulls, why keep going? Why not just say, listen, he's not our long-term guy. Let's get rid of him now and try to get a fresh start in here. I understand that he's been given pretty ordinary rosters to deal with. Why they didn't fire him in the summer, no one knows the answer to that question. But now they decided, all right, it's gone too far. Let's just start afresh because they weren't going anywhere with Fred. So why not just remove him now and keep going?
Is it a little odd? Could this be a part of the reason why he got fired? I have no idea if it's true. Lauri Markkanen comes back, plays his first game on Saturday, but he didn't start. He came off the bench, which is not, abnormal. That sometimes happens with a new player coming back from injury. But he didn't start. And then the first thing Jim Boylan with an E says when he takes over the Bulls head coaching job is, oh yeah, I'm making a change. Lauri Markkanen is going to start and Jabari Parker is going to the bench. I have no idea if this, had anything to do with this firing. But it's interesting that you're saying, why not give him the rest of the year task? And Lee, you're saying the opposite. Well, if he wasn't your guy and you didn't really believe in him, why didn't you get rid of him in training camp?
Yeah.
It is a little odd.
Well, I think that just speaks. You bring up Lauri Markkanen and Jabari Parker. They play the same position. And that's all on the front office.
Well,
and that's what this whole contract it should be on as well. I think that it should be upon the front office.
Right.
They decided, hey, we're going to bring in Fred Hoiberg because we're going to spread the floor. We're going to modernize it. We're going to change systems from Tom Thibodeau. It hasn't been modernized whatsoever. They haven't given him that team. And not to say that a coach shouldn't be able to coach the players and coach a different roster, but why not let him give him this? I don't think it's Lauri Markkanen.
No, and it probably isn't. But two things can be true, though, right? He could be made a scapegoat here because he's had a horrible front office there, giving him weird pieces and different teams year after year in Paxson and Foreman. That can be true. And it also could be true that he's maybe not a great NBA coach.
Maybe.
I think he proved that he was a great college coach. Those are two different beasts. And it goes back to maybe you're not having that respect from some of these older guys at times. I think both could be true. We just sort of don't know if he could be a real good coach with a competent front office and maybe a team that's more fit to his style.
And that also goes back on the front office for not supporting him earlier on when he was facing a little bit of upheaval from those senior guys. Like the front office needs to say to the coach, he's our coach, and if you don't fall into line, then he has the authority to make changes. And that never really happened. We felt for the last year or two that Hoiberg was on the hot seat, and the only reason he was being saved was because of his contract, and the Bulls didn't want to pay that out. So they'd pay out now a little bit, but we were like, what are they doing with Fred Hoiberg? They're not giving him players. They're not really supporting him. They're just kind of leaving him there until, they fire him at this point where it's like, maybe they thought coming into this season the Bulls were going to be better than they were. No one else really thought that with the injuries and the playing staff they had. But they get to this point and then they decide, all right, well, let's fire him now. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but a lot of the decisions they've made over the last 4 or 5 years in the front office
don't make a lot of sense. And they're the ones still there, and these coaches just keep getting rotated and rotated.
Well, his Christmas gift is about $7 or $8 million to go home. Not bad.
Not bad. Way to go, Freddie. All right, next one here.
All right, the Jazz lost to the Heat last night, and the game really came down to a questionable Rudy Gobert foul that sent Dwayne Wade to the line for 2 game-winning free throws. Afterwards, Gobert was livid, saying all he wants is for things to be consistent, and every night is the same bleep. True or false? Gobert is right to be upset at the officiating.
Ooh.
false.
I think false right away.
False.
Never blame the officials.
No, that's right.
I think in this instance, he may have a bit of a reason to gripe here, though, because what he was really talking about is not only this call that he got called for on Wade, and it was a very late whistle. Those referees waited to see if that ball was going to go in. There's no doubt in my mind. It didn't. They blew the whistle. That's always frustrating, right, as a player? But he was also upset with the play prior. Donovan Mitchell drove to the rim, got a little push in the back from Richardson, and it went uncalled. Mitchell probably still should have hit the layup. Here it is here. You're going to see a little push.
Yeah.
And, he should, again, still hit that. But he didn't. I think Gobert's like, look, if you're not going to call it on one end, don't call it on the other.
Just wants it to be consistent.
I mean, I hear you. I hate getting into the nitty-gritty with the officials. I get all that. But that's what he's saying. And then he had, threw in a lot of curse words as well. This is going to cost him, too.
Yeah, well, the problem is, though, their offense, the Jazz's offense,
Oh, no, yeah.
is bad. And so it's harder to give him the credibility for saying that when they're 27th in offense, they're bad at shooting three-pointers, they get no second chance points, hardly any fast break points. That's where the Jazz need to improve things. Their offense is broken right now. Defensively, they haven't been as good this season as they were last season. Yeah, so that's also a factor. But when you come down to a game like that and there's 1 or 2 whistles, I understand that sometimes those whistles feel like they're going against you. And Dwayne Wade, a veteran guy, home court, all that sort of stuff. But you can't really do that because it just makes it look like you are complaining when your team just hasn't been performing so far in the season.
It just came down to, you're right about the Josh Richardson situation there, but the referee didn't have a good angle. On the other end, you're watching Dwayne Wade come down the lane. It's his final season. And I was watching it live, and I thought, oh, he bumped him. Yeah, and he did. He did. If you watch it slow-mo, he definitely gave him a left on the bottom.
Late.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But you're on the road, you got to win. And that's how tough NBA officiating is. It was live speed. It was real tough. And Dwayne Wade is old, but he's still fast enough, to get a call.
Crafty.
And the thing, look, and you're right. The Jazz. I mean, now they're 11 and 13. They're 14th in the Western Conference. They are disappointing a lot of people, myself included. The offense has been horrible. Defense average. They had a 19-point lead in this game, and it was gone like that over this, the end of the first quarter and the start of the second. They gave up a 20-0 run. So they really only truly have themselves to blame that they were even in that position. But I think again, Gobert was looking at, hey, if you're going to call it on one end, call it on the other.
Well,
Just
look,
be consistent with it.
They're second in fouls drawn this season for the league. So they're getting a lot of
They're
whistles
getting calls.
themselves.
Yeah, okay. Final one here, Trey.
All right, weird stuff down in Dallas last night as Patrick Beverley was ejected from the Clippers' loss to the Mavericks after throwing a bounce pass at Mavs superfan Don Nobler. As Beverley's first career ejection, and he says it's because Nobler was screaming obscenities about Beverley's mother. True or false? Patrick Beverley deserved to be ejected.
False.
True.
Yeah, it's true. You
False.
can't throw a ball at a fan. You
Yeah,
can't.
he threw a crisp bounce pass. Looked like a very solid play, if you
It
ask
wasn't
me.
a very good pass
Oh,
because
it was too low, was
it's
it?
only a good pass if you can catch it. He doesn't. He fumbles it. Watch what happens.
No,
No,
That's
he
on
didn't.
Nobler, man.
You hit him in the
no,
hands.
no.
You hit him in the
knees.
clappers, yeah.
Hit him in the Don Nieblers there, I think.
But look, it's deliberate. It's intentional. He's throwing at the fan.
But hold on. Can a heckler go over the line? Can he cross the line?
Of course.
Yeah,
but-
then get him out of there.
Yeah.
And throw him out. And I think that's what Beverly's
true,
saying.
But we don't know that. We don't know that.
Well, yeah, it's a he
Beverley,
said, he said for sure.
Yeah, so I don't think you got to get into whether or not Patrick Beverley is saying the exact thing or whether Don Nobler is saying the exact right thing. You got to be the bigger person and not throw a ball into the stands. And you're right. A heckler can cross the line 100%. But you're asking a lot of humanity here to say that a guy or a woman out there in the crowd, in the audience, isn't going to say something. I mean, that has been going on in sports for a long time.
If you're lucky enough to sit courtside, there's generally like a little card on your seat that says you can be ejected if you cross a line with a player, a coach, a referee. That's there. It says that.
Yeah.
And they have kicked people out, and probably rightfully so.
and
people
usually
that cross the line.
And usually people tattletale on the person who's there.
Well, and I think Beverly was saying, look,
But
I've sort
that
of
didn't
had this
happen.
situation before. Well, I've had this situation before where I tell the referees or I tell security and it's not handled. And then at some point, well, if he is, in fact, making fun of his family and that's a line that he's crossed, if you're Beverly, then I'm just going to throw the ball at him. He also didn't chuck it in his face. He also didn't, who knows what was said back. But
No,
the only reason that guy was not kicked out, I'm sorry, too, is he's a longtime Mavs fan. I think if that's like just a normal Joe, then maybe he is tossed.
Well, listen.
But that guy's far from normal.
If Beverly reported it to
That ain't a normal
security,
Nobler.
and they didn't do anything about it, then it is on security. But I've seen you down at the Fortress in those pretty close seats. I mean, you get pretty
Oh, you
loud.
think I'm yelling your mother jokes at somebody? You know I'm
I
not.
didn't say that, but I know you get into the games.
Hey,
like
you
to
can
get into
you can be a good heckler, but you can cross the line. I think it sounds like this guy maybe did. You're right. You probably shouldn't go throwing anything at anyone, no matter what they did. So maybe they're both at fault here.
Patrick Beverley also took a tooth out of an opposing player.
Yes, that's right. That was all mixed up in there as well. Accidental. He tried to apologize.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Disagreeing with the guys here tonight. Let's hear from you. Jump on Twitter. #TheStarters. Let us know when we come back. 3D joins us live from Detroit to set up tonight's Thunder Pistons game. Don't go anywhere. Tonight on NBA TV, we got a players-only broadcast. It's the Thunder and the Pistons, and joining us live from Detroit right now, it's the Grill Daddy himself, 3D.
See those grill marks? 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 See those grill
Yeah,
marks?
we see those grill marks, and we see 3D live in Detroit. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
How you doing? All right, we got a great game tonight here on NBA TV. Thunder Pistons. Let's start with Detroit. Right now, 13-7, riding a 5-game win streak. They started off hot last year, and we asked this question then, so I'm going to ask you again. Are the Pistons for real? Are you liking what you're seeing from this squad?
I'm liking what I'm seeing because now they've had a training camp. Guys have been around each other. Guys are buying into the new system, which is point forward. Dwayne Casey talked about this morning, shoot around, that he has total confidence in Blake Griffin making great decisions. Now, defensively, they're starting to figure out and get better defensively. That's why they're playing better basketball.
Yeah, and a quality win on the weekend against the Warriors, who got Steph Curry back, and like I said, riding a 5-game win streak. On the other side of things, OKC, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a team we're really not talking about a whole lot. They started 0-4, but have since gone 14-3. They're near the top of the West. Are we sort of sleeping on this Thunder team? Are they a legit sort of title contender in that loaded West? What do you think?
Well, the word title makes me a little nervous, but to your point, they're going to surprise some people. They're playing great defense, and they arguably don't have the best defensive player in the league, and Andre Roberson's not healthy yet. And now Schroeder and Westbrook are starting to figure it out on the offensive end. Paul George has been Paul George from day one. You got Adams playing the defense, so I think Billy Donovan's done an excellent job now figuring out which guys to plug and play off their bench. So if they continue to play good defense, team defense, you get Roberson back, and once again, late game situation, that Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder, that's a pretty good matchup down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure. Look, we were talking about it before we had you on a little earlier in the show, and I'm interested to hear your take on the Patrick Beverley incident, him throwing the ball, of course, at a Mavericks fan who was heckling him. He got ejected. Have you ever seen anything like this before in your playing days? And also, I guess a second part of that question, can you go too far if there is a heckler that has crossed a line, in your own opinion?
Yeah, I think most fans do an excellent job being hecklers. I think in that situation, until I saw the video, I didn't know what to think. But I thought Patrick kind of like maybe handed him the ball, like something like that. You know, say, here you go. But he did kind of put a little forward, a little flick to it, so he deserved to get suspended. I don't know exactly what the fans said. I remember back in our days in the NBA in the Washington area, there was a lawyer named Robin Fick. He would mess with all of us. He would find out different things about you, high school, college, wherever it was, but he never, ever used profanity. That's why we liked him.
All right, 3D, I appreciate your insight on this. Enjoy the game tonight. Again, Thunder Pistons, good one on NBA TV, and it's a players-only type of night.
That's Andre Drummond right there, guys.
Yeah, go get it.
That's Drummond right there, guys.
Let's go
Reggie
block
Jackson
that shot.
there.
Tell him we said hi.
No.
Oh, yeah. He's getting locked in. All right, 3D, enjoy the game, buddy. When we come back, we got a brand new batch of Weekend Whoopsies. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the starters. Time for some Weekend Whoopsies. The hoops, the bloops, and the loops.
Love a good loop. It's all in the edit. Here is Harden hitting Clint Capella right in the noggin.
Yeah.
Right in that gold streak in his hair. And then going back the other way, watch this no-look steal. That's how Harden plays defense.
So casual.
Oh, you don't think I'm going for the ball? I'm going to look away and swipe it.
A double-ender whoopsie.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
Well done.
Amazing. This is strange here from the Sixers. Ball's thrown into Amir Johnson. Give it back to your guard. No, that's Mike Muscala. No, that's not the guard. That's Mike Muscala. Don't give it to him.
That was such an easy game for the Sixers against the Washington Wizards. A lot of teams can say that this season, unfortunately, that Joel Embiid was on the bench. Yeah. It was a Jan Mahimi for sure.
Tough game. Same game. Watch Jimmy Butler. Andrew Shamet, like, sort of steps on him, trips on him. Butler not happy. Gives him the, come on, man. Jordan. Nice kicks.
This is a terrible possession for the Cleveland Cavaliers and Colin Sexton.
What are we running here? I was going to yell it. You beat me to the punch. What are we running here?
Love that guy in our runs who wants plays called.
Yeah.
Well, he should be on the
What are
Cleveland
we running
Cavaliers.
here, though? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, good. Oh.
You could have used that guy because they didn't run anything on that possession.
Brutal. Emmanuel Mudiay at the line in MSG. Yeah. Oh, there's the ball. Yeah, he's looking off. Maybe he was finding out what they were running the next play, and there's the ball.
In that game, the Knicks' Noah Vonleh was having some real problems with his shorts. See him at the free throw.
what do
He's
you
backing
mean?
up. Well, he's just working it. I guess he's just pulling the, hey, let's get down on defense move.
Yeah. Does it
Let's
a
get
lot.
into it, yeah.
Wow, major hikes.
Getting down.
Shout out to NBA Reddit for this. This is amazing.
You should go short shorts.
Yeah.
He's got to go Stockton. Full Stockton.
Vonleh. Pistons, Warriors game. Jordan Bell. Gonna get an easy look right inside the paint there. Oh. Yeah. Air balls. The 3-footer. Way off.
End of the game here. The Pels are going to win, but the shot clock is going to go off, and Tim Frazier, well, he doesn't want the turnover, so he throws it over to Wesley Johnson. Hey, you get the
And then
turnover.
walks away.
This is a classic, isn't it?
Now, it is a shot clock violation, so it's actually a team turnover, but it's still funny.
All right. Well, we talked about the hoops and the bloops. Let's get to the loops. Montrezl Harrell scores inside and one, and then for some reason goes doink, 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 doink. I don't know why he's upset. You know, maybe because he missed the first one, I get, but he got the rebound, scored and one. You're fine.
Dennis Smith Jr., an incredible block to seal the game against Tobias Harris. He's a half foot taller than
That's
him, but
huge.
the whoopsie here is Luka Doncic on the bench with his reaction.
Not a yawn.
On Sunday, we had the Jazz and the Heat. Hassan Whiteside had a monster game, but it was a bit of a low light. Yeah.
Crazy spin
Yeah,
on
you
this
don't
thing.
see
Yeah,
that very
he sort of
often.
forgets to
Yeah,
jump.
nearly spun in.
It almost did. Rudy comes up with it.
Haven't seen that kind of spin since the match last week. Old wily vet Jamal Crawford with the ball here, and he's pulling Lonzo Ball's shorts, trying the old move, but Lonzo was ready for it. Peels back and gets the whistle.
Yeah,
Good
smart.
move, Lonzo.
And finally, Marc Gasol, near the end of the game against the Sixers, he throws it away and then does the little two-step. Yeah! Not happy. It was all on him. Oh, boy.
Heck of a loop.
Yeah, it is in the edit. You're right.
That's how she goes.
When we come back, Lili's very solid play. Hope it's edited well. And my man Jim Boylan, we asked you, who are some other NBA people you always mix up? We got a Boylan and a Boylan, E and an A. You hit us up on Twitter. Trey, you got some answers.
Yeah, these ones are good. Randy says, will someone please tell me the difference between Bogdan and Bojan Bogdanovic and how they are not related? That is amazing. Buffalo Billionaire says Irvin Magic Johnson and Irvin Johnson. Always mix those two up when I'm talking about classic players. And Sam says these guys, J.E. Skeets and his twin brother, Steve Nash.
Yeah, shout out to Steve.
Yeah,
How's
you
the
both
soccer going,
look
Steve?
great.
Good? Yeah, we're both doing great on TV. All right, Friday's results. It was the Rockets, Spurs. Oh, Lily, you don't want to see that X, and you don't want to see that circle.
Why not?
You lost the month of November. That was a pretty brutal month for everybody, all things considered. Trey just got over 500, so kudos to you. But yeah, Lee, you're going to be paying off your November pick'em loss sometime this week.
Okay.
We're working on some details as to what you're going to be doing.
We're flying something in. So.
Some point this week. Tonight's pick-up play. Wow, Lee, the only one taking Detroit at home, trying to finish off a 6-game homestand, a perfect 6-0 if they can do it. Everybody else taking OKC. VSP, babe.
Yeah, controversial one too, because it's a double ender, but it's this butt pass here from Marcus Smart, which lit up Twitter on Saturday night.
yeah, this
is
is-
it too sexy or is it too solid? I don't know. You tell me. So I'll call that a play. Solid? I don't know. Just tell me.
All right.
Great stuff. Also great stuff. We had our 9th wedgie of the season, and the Wolves broadcast crew of Benz and Peterson, well, they gave us another shout out.
Irving. Wedgie. It's our
And
second
actually-
wedgie of the week.
That's right.
We had one in
And
Cleveland.
it turns out the starters love hearing about all wedges.
They did confirm that, although I didn't really need confirmation.
You knew.
Second wedgie of the week, second shout out of the starters from the Wolves broadcast crew of the week. It's good to let people know that other people know who we are. That's why we keep including those.
Drop podcast tomorrow. Catch it wherever you download and listen to the Starters podcast. All right, that's it for us tonight. When we come back, it'll be 6 p.m.
Before
tomorrow,
we go
but we got
anywhere,
a fan
though,
sign.
We've got Jai Anderson and Angela celebrating their anniversary Christmas present with each other at the Warriors game.
That's a great fan sign.
That was a heck of a sign. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.
Brace tonight, people.